Right, guys, welcome in. My goodness. Oh, I don't even have a hat. I have no hat. I just have to wear the old hat, I guess. Oh, you know, I got brand new hats underneath. What am I thinking? What am I thinking, Josh? Oh, man, you guys, I just woke up 29 minutes ago from a nap that I overslept way too long on. And I was like, oh, it's 4:31, and I need to do a show at 5 o'clock. So, here we are, nice and bed-headed for all of the fans. Now, I want to say first and foremost, happy Easter to everybody out there watching. We're going to be doing an Easter scene, a resurrection / crucifixion scene, and it's going to be fantastic. I'm going to show you everything that you need to do in order to create this scene step by step, right? Ooh, I like it. Back to normal. Haha. So, let's get the gloves on and we'll get started. Now, I just listed this one in my Etsy store literally right before I turned on the cameras because I'm running late this afternoon. Well, this evening. So, you guys got to check in. Tell me where you're watching from. What's your favorite sandwiches? And I'll show you what we've already done. I've taken our black Liquitex gesso. Looks just like this. Covered over the entire thing except for the white areas, in which case I use my pan, right, to black out where I want my rolling rock door to enter from. That's where we want that, right? So I made a little white area right here. We're going to put our yellow in here and up in the sky, and it'll make this really cool effect when we go to do it. Now, I then took Bob Ross Liquid Clear and put it all over the black section and even in this white section. It's all clear along the bottom and then liquid white on the top. Now, let's get started with our colors, guys. Happy Easter. Did you guys get everything in your Easter basket that you wanted? Let me know in the comments, right? So we've got our, we may use all these colors actually. So sap green, phthalo green, Van Dyke brown, dark sienna, Meaden from crimson, cerulean blue, ultramarine, both from crimson, Bob Ross phthalo blue, Gamblin dioxazine purple, and then Bob Ross alizarin crimson, midnight black, and titanium white. And then we have cadmium yellow and yellow ochre down here, also from the Bob Ross set. So let's rock and roll, my friends and painting pals. Who's here on a Sunday night to see a cool little resurrection scene? Right now, if you're over on YouTube, make sure you give me a thumbs up. We're also simulcasting from TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook. So any one of those platforms, you'll be able to go back and re-watch this thing. Now let's start out with our brightest cad yellow. Just the most gorgeousest of cad yellows. And we'll put it out in the sky somewhere, wherever we want to have a gorgeous glow from our sun. Just right out there into our sky, right? Same thing right down here into our opening of our door. And that way we'll have this miraculous glow as it's shooting out, right? Coming out and away from our whatever's happening on the inside. This miraculous event that's going on the inside is casting all this light out upon the floor and the surrounding area down around the bottom, right? Casting out all this light. So, before we go into any other darker colors, make sure that you have your white section or your yellow section as yellow as you want it to be. Now we'll move into our yellow ochre, which is a little bit darker color. A little sandier, a little darker mix. Go over here to our Meaden crimson, just because I love this color. This Meaden crimson, guys, boof! It is fantastic. I absolutely love it. Okay? Now, these guys are going to get harder and harder and harder to see the more that we put on more and more and more layers of paint. They get more difficult to see, guys. So, let's see here. All we need to do is blend them out and make sure that it's not too overly dark, right? We get some of our Bob Ross crimson. Bring this guy in around our yellow. Over here, that's just a fantastic color in our sky. This is going to be amazing. Literally amazing. Let's grab some of that cerulean blue way out here. Maybe we can keep it nice and bright. All the way out. Get this kind of purpley mix from the crimson onto our brush, right? Let's get a new brush. Instead of cleaning that guy off and being, a good painter, let's be a lazy painter and get a new brush. There we go. Some of that bright blue cerulean. Oh, it's amazing. Literally amazing little color. All right, we don't want to get too close to our yellow, though, that's for sure. Now, we'll come over here. A little of that cerul. A little of our phthalo blue as well, just to darken it up on this side. Oof. This is the reason why we put that batch of crimson in between the blue and the yellow, so they don't grow together too quickly, guys. All right, now, I would say we're just about there. I'm going to take a little bit of my pure titanium white and brighten up this section in here. All right, just a little bit brighter yellow. We could have left it and not put on so much yellow, or we could brighten it up to whatever we want. But look at that. The more it is, the more bright that it is inside there, the more miraculous things are going to happen, right? So let's wash off these brushes, and then we'll go back and blend all that sky together. Make it look really fantastic, you guys. Just epic, as they say. Epic. Now, get this guy all cleaned up. We only got one more, so stick around. Don't go anywhere. Make sure you're tapping on that screen, hitting the like button, sharing it to all your friends, and all the stuff that you got to do, so I don't have to remember to tell you to do it all, right? I'm not the best rememberer. So if I don't have to remember to tell you to do it, then you're helping me out by doing it all on your own, right? All right, set these old brushes down. Get rid of all this color off of this guy. Did we wash the wrong brush? Or did I just wash two of them twice? That's a question. That's a question. All right, guys, now, let's go in with a big old 2-inch brush and start in our lightest area, and then we work our way out into those dark colors, right? So we'll start crisscrossing back and forth, and each time we come out into that pink and drag it back in, it wants to drag in a bit more of that dark color into our yellow center, right? So you have to be careful on how much pressure you allow and drag that darkness in. It's all up to us. What are we going to do? How are we going to keep it from getting too dark? Well, we're going to focus on our pressure, right? Not allow all that pink to get all the way down here. And now, once we've gone and blended out the entire lighter area, you have to move out into the dark side, the deep darkness. Way out here, the more you mix, like I said, the more our crosses are going to want to disappear because they're further away off on a hill in the distance. We use that black gesso, and that's keeping them nice and soft out there, right? Very soft. Soft little bit of sky. Now, on this side of our sky, it's going to be a bit darker, and it's going to grow a bit further because there's more deeper, darker color on there, right? The cerulean blue isn't so deep and dark, and so it tends to blend away with the white very easily, versus this guy, we have to crisscross a lot more, stretch in order to get him to blend away with our sky, right? The more you go across it, the more you can blend those cool little colors right there, right? Now, if you end up getting too much paint on your brush, which will happen, and there's not even a whole lot of paint on this brush, but it's too much to continue blending. So I've got to come back in with a nice soft brush, nice clean one, right? One that doesn't have any paint on it yet, and then continue our blending efforts. So we get out here and we blend around the yellow and that little crimsony purpley area. The more that you do it, the softer it'll become, right? You don't want to drag any blue into your green, though. That's a big issue. People tend not to like that when you got a green spot in your sky. Out there, dragging it across, you get these soft little changes and differences. And then we'll go back and throw in some clouds, guys. That's the best part. The best part, the most fun, chuck in some giant, massive clouds. Just a big old monster cloud. Floats around all day being happy. It's like, look at this scene I get to see all day long. I'm just going to be happy. Happy, happy, happy. Now remember, did anyone else wake up 29 minutes ago? Well, 39 minutes ago now. I'm still trying to get into my normal oomphness because I was oversleeping. Took a little nappy poo and overslept. So you guys tell me where you're watching from. What's your favorite sandwiches? And just let me see what you got. Thank you, Javier. I appreciate that. The crosses are faded because it's the past and then shows his resurrection. It's an awesome painting. Thank you. Your version, Javier, that we did in class should be I think that one is dry. We were just waiting on one more that was still pretty wet in like the real thick textured area. And I don't want them to get messed up in the mail. So I was like, let's wait. It's literally Javier's and Go With The Flow are the only two people that bought during the class period that still haven't gotten theirs yet because I was so thick on the paint. You know what I mean? So I love you guys. I appreciate you guys for waiting. And they will get there. As soon as they're dry, they'll be on the way back to you guys. Versus this guy will dry much faster because I'm in Las Vegas. And I mean, we're going to put a whole ton of paint on this thing, but even just being in Vegas, it'll dry a little bit faster. Now, let's get out here and do a sun. I've been showing you over the last couple days how you can do a sun with just the tip of your finger, right? Probably too much paint on there. Just the tip of your finger and a little bit of paint. And we can come out here, maybe in our brightest area. I know we're going to have a bunch of big bushes, so what if we put it right over here? A little plop. Right? You can toss in a soft little faraway sun out in the night. And the best part about that is if you don't like him, blend it all the way away, right? Because we didn't overuse, we didn't put too much paint on our canvas. And then you can maybe pick a different spot, maybe down here. The bright area of our sun shining over the hill. And then we'll just miss that spot with a little bush. And we'll be able to see our sunlight up there, right? Very easy, very simply done. Now, let's get in here with our fan brush. Let's grab it up, roll it out over here. Right, and let's say maybe, who knows, there was this far off thing. See how we start right in between the pink and the yellow section? Maybe we could roll down along that section, come up and around, and just have this whole crown of clouds sort of deal going on, right? All depends on where we put it, and then what we do with our brush. How we make it look as we mix it back and mix it back and mix it back. Now remember, guys, this one is available for sale. But it's not available for sale just as the canvas only because it's one of those canvas boards. It's very thin. So it comes with a frame. So if you do end up purchasing this guy, you get it with a frame, your choice, black or white. And, I mean, depending on, I might go white. In this case, this painting might be a white frame painting. You never know. So I don't even know if it's still available. My mods might be able to tell me if it's sold or if it's not, if it's still there. Right, we'll see, we'll see, we'll see. I thought they would have told me by now. We'll see. That's all right. We'll go back and look a little bit later, right? We'll take a little bit of our titanium white. Maybe we had a whole new section of cloud. Pop in here. And just, you can see how I'm mushing it and spinning the brush and rotating it all around, making it all just random. Right? That way it's depositing paint randomly. When we can come back with our 1-inch brush and start to mix it up, right? Then we can decide how far of that random color do we want to let grow. We want to have it come way up here, mix it down very softly, maybe add a little bit more color or a little bit more pressure to our brush, right? Grabbing some of that deeper darkness and pulling it in from underneath. We get to decide, guys. No one else gets to tell us what our clouds should or should not have look like. What if we did it with a little touch of white on it? Just as a little, oh, it might look like cloudy, dude. I mean, it's different from what I've done before, but I don't know, guys. What do you think about that? I can make them dark, or we can leave them kind of light like that, and they can almost look like clouds in the sky. Seriously. You know what? We're going to do that. We're going to leave him. Bob. Actually, no, I'm not Bob. If you can imagine, I'm not Bob Ross. I don't look anything like him. But, believe it or not, I am distantly related to Bob Ross. He's my grandfather's 8th cousin. So, Bob Ross is in my blood, if you can believe it or not. I don't care if you don't. It's the truth. Let's come out here with one more little piece of cloud. Just a little puff. Right out there. Right, come back in, mix our little puff down, and I really like the idea of the cloudy crosses. Not necessarily cloudy, but just white, you know what I mean? Like, different. They're not blacked out, it's not a silhouette. It's more of an indication that maybe they were there a long time ago, you know what I mean? Maybe they were there thousands of years ago. We don't know. We don't know. I wasn't there. Were you there? Nobody knows. We only have what we can read in our oral traditions of what was happening back then. And it's some pretty incredible stuff when you actually sit and read it with a scientific approach. It's some incredible things were happening back in those times that nobody talks about anymore. You know what I mean? It's all relegated to myth and legend, and nobody talks about all the insanely cool things that were happening back then. And people living for hundreds of years, like 900 years Moses lived or something like that. Like, how is that possible? You know what I mean? There were some amazing things going on back in the day. Nobody wants to talk about it anymore. All right, now that we've got our stuff, let's start figuring out what our rock is going to look like, okay? And in order to make our rocks, we need to mix up a whole bunch of our dark Paint with Josh plaque, right? You know what Paint with Josh plaque is? No, it's not that. That's not the same plaque we're talking about. Guaranteed, there probably is some there, but we're not talking about that plaque. We're talking about a very purplish black color that we can make by mixing up 3 of these Bob Rossi colors into this Paint with Josh plaque mix. The Madness mix. It's so dark, it even stands out in space. It's darker than space. My goodness. Now, let's grab a little fan brush. I have an old fan brush, because you don't need to use a palette knife all the time, right? Come into this plaque mix, which is, as we all know, blue, black, and crimson make up the plaque mix. And let's just say, a little rocky action happening down here, right on top of our little doorway opening, just so we have some real dark paint. You can even see it gets darker than the actual gesso. Right? Maybe we round it out. Maybe there's a couple little bends on the inside. A little thing over here. It projected out just a little touch. Drag that darkness away from itself. Right? Over here. Maybe there's a whole little hill off in the distance, right up along the edge of our gesso line. And all of a sudden, this thing comes right into the foreground, right? But before we do anything else, why don't we take just a bit of our green, our sap green, a little bit on the brush. We don't need a whole lot, guys. So pull from the very flattest part, right? You don't need a whole ton of paint. Not a whole lot at all. Now, as we get in here with our greeny grass, our little yellow is going to brighten up our green just a little bit. Let's say off the top of the little hill back here, there's just a couple little dabs, right? We start coming down, little dab of grass off in the distance, over along the top. These little boards are so like flimsy when you're painting on them. There we go. Couple little bits, and we start coming down just like a typewriter, going back and forth. That old school invention. The turn of the century is amazing. You can actually print letters onto paper. Have you ever seen paper? Oh man, it's fantastic. But that's how you got to treat your grass, like a little typewriter thing. And we'll bring our darkness in. Maybe we'll pop up a little bit of dark. And a little ledge back in here where all that grass gets pushed away. Boom, 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 boom. Right? We got all these rocks up in the front. Our grassy hill is much further into the distance. And we can take all that darkness and start to spread it down, right? From different angles. How would you think your rocks are going to sit? It's not just a slate piece, right? Like a flat piece. It's all jumbled up and crazy things that are happening. It's a wall of rocks. It's not one rock wall. It's a wall of piled up rocks. So all of your rocks should be going in different directions. They shouldn't all be the same way. At least not in my mind anyway. Right? A little bit of darkness, just plaque it out. Plaque it out, plaque it out, plaque it out. That's all we need. Make sure we get all that stuff all the way down, almost to the bottom, and then we can put some brown down here. And you can see how much closer this little rock wall is sitting just because it's a bit darker than our other guy, right? And we're going to have to do the same thing to him as well. Eventually, I'll put some plaque about here, about halfway back from his thing. Fill in this whole section just so it's nice and covered up. Get that dark color, and then we'll go put on our bushes and all sorts of stuff. You can just spread it around with a fan brush. Get it in there. And all that's going to do is allow our brown to mix into a deeper, darker color as we go. Okay, so you can even do it right now. Even with all the color that's on the brush, we can go into our dark brown, which is the Van Dyke brown, the deeper and darker one. All right, a little touch of our plaque on there too. Let's grab our door and start to whip it. You can see all of a sudden that brown starts to stand out away from our door. Come up along the edge, grab it, and pull it back with a little C or a little downward pull to it. Right? Just down. Trying to make it a ball almost. Right? You can let it roll off into nothing at the back. We can blend all this stuff out so it over mixes with our plaque and all that stuff, and all that blends in the back. It's going to be really neat. You can even go into our brown right here on our brush, our lighter color brown this time, and now come around the inside and leave a little line of lighter brown as the front of the rock, like it's getting hit with some light. Just like that, right? So you go around, down and around. You can even use your pan if you wanted to, but I think I've done it enough times, especially with doing it over the classes, that I can make it very round looking, just free-handed. Right now, we're gonna come in and grab a little of our yellow ochre on the same brush. Haven't cleaned it once, right? Maybe take this guy. As we go down, we're going to brighten up that front side. Right, so you get that front edge, a little bit more of our yellow ochre, and now we're just going to sort of over blend it back into that deep darkness. You can see it tries to brighten it up into this little bit of brown back here, right? And we don't need the whole thing to be super bright. That's not the goal of it all. It's just supposed to stand out as being away from the dark plaque. Right. Boom, boom, boom. A little bit of brown, a little bit of our plaque color, a little bit of that other brown, and then we got our yellow ochre as well as it comes in. And that helps keep our brown stone looking a little bit more rounded, especially if you left that little area of brightness right along the side. And you can always come back in. This always helps. If you get a little bit of your odorless mineral spirits, a little bit of our plaque color, right? This always helps. Kind of like if you think about it like an illustrator, somebody who draws cartoons, they have an outer line around their stuff, right? So if we come in here, let's create the first little guy on the inside. Ripping it around and down. Whoop! Just like that. You get that little dark line, and that acts as our kind of illustration line for where it would separate from the other color. Right? A little bit. Bram's long old liner brush. Just that little dark line sometimes, guys. I'm telling you, I get questions all the time from people, and they go, what would make my painting look a little bit better? I'm like, well, add this little dark line right here, and you should be set, right? Like a little touch of darkness, just to separate it from the surrounding colors. Now, this outer door is irritating me, so I've got to go in with my brown on my brush, holding it, and then we're going to make it the same length. There we go. The same amount of pressure, and that way we have that perfectly round door as it goes down. Much better, right? That angle. That dang door. Sometimes it's the death of me, okay? Now we can always go back in with our brush and our other stuff. And come back in and line out our little thing with just a bit of darkness is all you need, right? A little bit of dark around it really helps it pop against that light color. But it's got to be the smallest, tiniest little line that you can possibly imagine, right? And even it doesn't even have to be so dark. It just has to be darker than the stuff that's out there. Just like that, right? Just a little pop away from our guy. So, very cool. Now, let's go back in and start making some rocks. I'm going to make some rocky bits, and then we'll add all of our textury flowers at the end. It's going to be fantastic. We'll wash off these 2 fan brushes, and then we're going to get our old palette knife out. So I hope you've been practicing with your palette knife. I really do. Because this one's a lot of palette knife painting right here. Lots of knife about to come out. So, grab your favorite blade, your sword of destiny. Grab your weapon of choice, and meet me in the gallery. I don't know. There we go. I'm going to grab the Bob Ross large knife, right? Looks just like this. The Paint with Josh knife's going to look a lot like this as well. And we're going to come in and mix up a little color. Right? Now, we're going to take our lighter color brown, a little bit of that, boop, pop them over here. A little bit of our yellow ochre color, pop that guy, and then a little squeeb, just a little bit of white. Otherwise, the white's so powerful it'll overtake everything, right? We don't need it to be super bright white rocks over here. This real deep, dark, brownish, yellowy, sandy kind of color to our stones. Scrape up a little bit of this guy, and let's imagine we're going to whip it around and away from the edge of our rocky little outcropping right here where our door has been carved in, pulling it, letting it get darker and darker and darker. Now, the brighter it is on the front, the more light it's going to be catching from that miraculous thing that's happening on the inside. So our goal is to let it get bright on the front and then darker and darker as it goes away, because there's not going to be picking up so much bright light around there, right? Very cool. Very cool. I'm going to stick this guy right down in the center. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see if we can't just get a little bit of that brownish color right in here. Just a little bit. Going to scrub it in. Scrub it in, scrub it in, scrub it in. Over here, over there. Just a little touch of it, right? Nothing too crazy. And that way, at least it'll look like we've got a door going on. I'm going to get a little bit of that white and yellow again and really brighten up his rocky stones. Just leaving a small line of darkness right in between. Like that. Something really crazy bright is happening right beyond that section where we cannot see. We cannot see it. There we go. The only reason I'm brightening mine up is just because it wasn't as bright as I wanted it to be off of the gesso, right? So a little bit of our white, a little bit of our yellow. Let's get underneath in here again. Let's make that little guy a bit brighter. Got a little touch of our brown. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Just so it's different, right? You get that little bit of crazy coloring, that super bright color right at the tip top of our thing. Very neat. Now, we'll go back and start grabbing up some more of our rocks. And remember, there's going to be a lot of overhang happening down here, so we don't have to worry about every rock looking exactly the same all the time. All right, come up and grab some of these guys. Drag them out. Maybe this guy starts coming down from another direction. Right? Get a whole other piece of rock sliding down from this way, getting flatter and flatter and flatter, because they don't all have to be the same. Maybe it came and turned this way, right? All of a sudden, it just randomly changed direction. It can do that. It's rock. It can do whatever it wants, right? It's just a pile of stuff. Very cool. Little dark little things creating a rocky, cavernous little bit over here. Now, my favorite part about this painting is the seat for Mary, right? So we need to scrape in a very flat little bit of brown, right? With a little straight ridge on it. And then from the bottom of that guy, we're going to pull straight down and just get a little of that color to come down, right? We're not trying to light up the whole thing. It's supposed to be dark, but now at least there's a little seat right here, a little flat area where Mary can sit and mourn or wait until the miraculous happens. Pulling it out with these really cool little spots. You got to leave it dark back in there though, otherwise it doesn't look like a little seat. Now we'll come off of this last guy, jiggle in some action over here. Maybe there's this whole little rocky bit, right? Pulling it back and away. You don't need the whole thing to be so super bright. And just like that, you got your rocks with a little seat back in there. Don't you see it? Do you see the little seat? Do you see it? A couple little rocks back in there, like super dark though, so you don't really notice them. Just like that, guys. That is fire, if I don't say so myself. Now, we're all going to go over and check out the Glitterwick stream right after this. Are you going to be there watching? Because that's where I'm going to be. Now, I'm going to take a little bit from our green grassy brush that we didn't clean off, grab that same brown, and then right out from beneath. All right, come right up to our little seat over here, just wiggling it in, down into the yellowy bits, even right along the bottom. You can take out the whole bottom of where your rock is. Bang, just like that. You got a little place of light right down there. Now, we're going to need to adjust these guys because they always tend to miss that little section down on the bottom with no paint, right? Now this one's going to go in a frame anyway, so it doesn't matter. But you guys know me, I'm a perfectionist. I gotta have it all done up. Take the sand over here. Now, say we wanted to have a little bit of brightness coming out into our sand. We can get our yellow and our white on the brush, right up to the step. A little bit of brightness right out there, just by adding some white and some yellow. And I had James, one of my students, James Boo Boo over there, was asking me how to achieve this effect, and we had already gotten past this point. And I was like, well, it's you kind of have to do it when you're in the moment versus later on, right? But we ended up achieving what we wanted. Very cool. Now, let's go back in with a lot more plaque and our last few bits of bushes, guys. And then we'll get over to Glitterwix. Whoop! And watch her stream. It's going to be fantastic. So, get out your microphone brush. And let's have a good time. We need to mix up a lot of our plaque mix. Well, we might actually not. We might have enough. At least for our further away bushes that are away from our sun over here. These guys I'm going to go crazy with and change up the coloring, which we might as well do first, right? So let's get into a little bit of our straight up crimson. Just a whole pile. Bash it in. Right? Maybe off the top of this guy there was a bit of like pinky bush. Just with that crimsony undertone. Okay, maybe there's another guy over here too. Just because he looks so stinking pretty like that. And this guy dangles down towards our little seat. There he is sitting down here, right? A couple little danglers. Now let's start going into a bit darker color. Let's get into that Prussian blue. Maybe a bit of our purple dioxazine because they're right next to each other. Pop that sucker up in here. Try to miss our sun because we don't want to hit the sun. All right, maybe one more little deep, dark, bluey, shadowy bit over here hanging down over our rocks. Not trying to cover everything, of course. And now, since our brush is getting all deep and all nasty, let's go into that plaque mix. Pop it up. Dangle it down. You can see why we didn't go too far up with our rocks. We don't need them to be all the way up there. All right, maybe this guy. We have to hold. There we go. Hold it up from the top. There we go. A couple little bits, and these guys are going to dangle down. Are we not even in yet? Oh, I didn't. I never put it back in, you guys. You guys got to tell me these things. If I don't secure it back in the thing, it could fall out. Nobody wants that to happen. All right, there we go. Well, maybe some people do. I don't know. Dangle off a couple little flowery bits as it draws down over our rock. Right now, we've only got a couple more little places for some bushes, but we ran out of our deep dark paint. So you got to tell me what 3 colors I need to mix up in order to create that deep dark Paint with Josh plaque. Give me the colors. What do we need, baby? You guys are so lucky, too. Over on YouTube and over on Facebook. I normally don't go live on Sunday on Facebook or YouTube. But because it's a holiday, we decided, well, well, actually, London and I decided a long time ago when I first started painting that going live on holidays was probably a good idea because a lot of people would be home watching. So, I decided that today I would go live. And I woke up 29 minutes before the show was due to start. And I was like, oh, no. Oh, maybe I shouldn't go live. So, you guys are lucky that we even came up and turned on the cameras today. There we go. A couple little bushes overhanging down. It's going to be fantastic. Holy cow. All right, let's get a little bit of our deep sap green as well. Put some of that sap green in around the bottom of some of these guys. Right? That way when we hit them with yellow, they'll roll down and become green. Gonna be fantastic. Just gonna be fantastic. All right, gotta clean off this massive microphone of a brush. Just a big old mic. That over here. This. Excellent. Now we're gonna take that same brush because it gives you all those gorgeous textury bits, and we'll start chucking it in down there. It's gonna be fantastic. Just fantastic. So, this one, guys, comes with a frame. When you go to purchase it, there is no other option besides a frame. So, and like I said, I'm thinking the white would be literally, it's going to make all the light color in the painting really pop with the white frame. But the black is classic, too. You know what I mean? Black is classic. So, we'll decide by the time it gets done which one is going to look the best, right? Now, let's come in here. We're going to grab a little bit of our liquid white, just a little touch onto the end of the brush is all we need. Then come right into the fattest part of our pile. right? That big fat part of our pile right here. Maybe off the tip tops of some of these guys. Maybe go off that guy. Oh my! Look at that fiery bush, right? Not trying to cover up every single thing. That would be bad. Go back over here with this yellow guy. Up into the grassy bits, dangling down just a little touch. And we flick down a few little danglers, little doers that are trying to fall down off the edge. All up to us, guys. Go back into that yellow over here. All right, I know I had a couple of these guys with some green, so let's throw some yellowy bits off of this green and watch it just start changing into the most gorgeousest thing you ever did seen. Tap it, roll it down. How far do you want them to hang? Very cool. Now, let's go back. Since we've got some blue, right, it's not going to matter if it goes green. A little bit of our blue, let's pop in. Oh, that cerulean blue, you guys, from the Meaden set is so nice because it's like, it's very wet, so it comes off our brush very easily as it rolls down. All these little bits dangling, hanging down off the edge. That's very neat looking. Very cool. Very, very cool as it dangles over the side. Oh, I like that. I like that, guys. Now, let's wipe off that brush as much as we can. Don't need to clean it off completely. Go into our yellow ochre color and see, maybe our yellow ochre. Ooh, yes, it's like a, more like a dusky, brownish, goldish kind of color. Very cool, though. Back into our green. Let's get a little greenery up here as well. As it falls down, half green, half yellow ochre. Go back, wipe off the brush in between each time. You go to change, right? You don't want to have all yellow ochre everywhere. And have some greenery bit somewhere. That looks really cool. That one I like. Now, let's get into our Meaden crimson, maybe a little of our white as well. Again, wiping the brush off before each time. With this guy, we're going to have the most gorgeous, pinky little flowers. Just amazing, right around the sunlight. Dangling down. Oh, that's fantastic. I love that Meaden crimson so much. So much. Dangle down little things, right? What else? Should we get some teal colored flowers in here? We could. We could rock some teal, at least for a little touch of it. And then finish it off with some big old cad yellow flowers. Dangling over the edge. Just very lightly. Having all these little bits hang down over the side. That's fantastic, you guys. I like that. Now, it's up to you guys to come up with a title for this one. Or, if you purchase it, you get to name it forever. It gets to be yours forever. You get to choose the names for it. And if not, then type in your suggestions into the comments thread, and I'll go through and pick out my favorite one. Now, we name the other versions He Is Risen or something like that, right? We could do that again. Wouldn't be an issue. But we may want something a little different or a little more, not more original per se, but just a little different perhaps for this guy. So, you guys let me know. Whatever the title is, that's what we're going to name it. Soften our little stone down there. Very cool. And it's been a fantastic time to do this wicked cool painting for you guys. Honestly. Honestly. It's been fun. I always have fun coming up here and hanging out with you guys anyway. Always. Look at those flowery bits. Just epic. Fan-schmastic. I dig it. Roll Away the Stone, Eugene Rochelle. That's a cool title right there over here on YouTube. Roll Away the Stone. The Third Day. That's an excellent title as well. Karen's Floral. Oh, I dig that. That's very cool. Shades of the Holy Spirit. So, what color is that light blue? Sherry, Chris, Kimberly. It is cerulean blue from the Meaden set. So, I just barely tried it for the very first time when I was doing my mural on the big seascape. So, it's the Meaden paints, and it's the lighter color blue, the cerulean blue. It's very neat. Very cool little color. And it comes out right off the palette, just like that. Like legit off the palette, no difference. It comes out of the tube, that color. You know what I mean? So it's a really neat color, and it's really wet, so it acts as our highlights and deposits off our brush very easily. Day of forgiveness? I don't know, guys. Somebody said the third day. I think it was Miss Fran Fine. Miss Fran Fine said the third day. Thank you, Sherry. It's not as pretty as your version that you did in class. You did an excellent version. Casey Cooper says, I will be back. Well, we appreciate you. I do live paintings and all sorts of stuff. Right, Roll Away the Stone is a great, simple title. It's perfect. Annette Moore says he's alive. Ascend. The third day. He is not here. Not anymore, anyway. Right? The Holy Tomb. Guys, you guys are coming up with some awesome little suggestions and stuff. I really like your titles. Sunday Rising. Rising Sun, but like S-O-N instead of S-U-N. Third day. 3 days grace. Fear not. Oh, I like that. Just fear not. His resting place. Doorway of awakening. I like. You know what, though? I mean, Roll Away the Stone. I really like that from Eugene over here on YouTube. Eugene Rochelle. Let's do that. Roll Away the Stone. I do like Fear Not, though. It's very cool. I like that, but I like Roll Away the Stone. It's different from the other versions that we've named. Right? It's not He is Risen or all the normal stuff. You know, Good Friday, third, what's it? No, it's Good Friday and... Oh, I'm so terrible. Sunday is Easter, but isn't it called Good something? No? Maybe I'm wrong? That's fine. It's been a long time. All right, now let's get the old bird family in. We're going to name it Roll Away the Stone because I really like that title. And then we'll put it in a frame. Now, what do you guys think as far as frames? What color should we go with as far as a frame on this bad boy? All right, put them right back in here. Right over there. Let's just see. Like that. Number 1240. My goodness. Roll Away the Stone. Awesome title. Painted on 3/31 of 23. And then we're all going to go check out paintwithjosh.com, besides going over to the Glitterwick stream, which we're going to go do right after this. We're going to go check out paintwithjosh.com, because it's got all the fabulous stuff on there, right? Whoop. Stay there, buddy. Just like that. Just like this. Now, let's put this guy in a little frame, right? What are we thinking as far as frameage? I'm thinking the black frame would look nice. The white frame would look nice. What do you guys think as far as frames? It's Easter Sunday. Yes, I know that. I know it's Easter Sunday. Should we look at the white frame first? I think the white frame is nice. You know what I mean? And it's very, like, pure and holy, the white frame. Everything white is more pure, you know what I mean? Like, you get the white dress or all that stuff. The white makes it more, like, godlike. For whatever reason, that's what it is. Here we go. Get this guy out. Pop him off. Let's change gloves so we don't have paint on the white frame. Here, there, and everywhere, guys. This one literally came out so fantastic. I did not expect it to be that good. I don't even think my class version came out that good. Let's see. Over here, over there. This guy up, and then zoop, down into the framery. That's the best part about these frame boards. They literally go right back in, perfect fit, and wow. Look at this thing with the white. I told you I'd get paint on the frame. It's all good. Wipes off. The white is like, oh, baby. Oh, baby. It makes all the dark go even darker, makes all the brights stand out as even brighter. Right? What do you guys think? Let's see. I don't know, the black might look cool to me, but, you know. I like both of them. I buy the white frames because some people like the white frames. And so we get the white frames, and sometimes people get them, and sometimes people don't. They get the black frames, or the blue frames, or the whatever frames. Get all sorts of frames except for the white frames. All right, let's get up here. Got a little bird fam happening in the sky. Caw-caw! Just flying through. You can imagine the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, no? Even though they're myself and my wife, my ex-wife and our daughter, you could imagine them being anything and literally label them as whatever you want, right? So I guess in this one painting, those birds could be considered as something else as well besides Josh's signature. It could be the Holy Trinity, right? Which I'm kind of mad now that we didn't name it the Holy Trinity, guys. We should have named it the Holy Trinity. What were we thinking? Let's decide it in brown this time. This white's going to be too bright. Let's get a bit of brown. A bit of black color. Just a little touch. So it's not like screaming in our face. There we go. Just like that. Boom, 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 guys. Excellent. Excellent. So, what are you guys going to do right after this video? We're going to go check out Glitterwix. Watch her pour just the most amazing, gorgeousest candles you've ever seen. Because that's where I'm going to be. Even though I'm shoeless Josh Jackson right now. Don't ask why. Don't ask. Don't ask. Okay. Let's get this guy over here. We're going to end the streams. Turned out fantastic. And it's 24, not 2023. What are you talking about? Did I write the wrong thing on there? Shut your face. Shut up. No, I didn't. I'm going to have to really get back here and check it out. But I swear that's not what it says back here. There's certainly, most definitely says 24. Okay, most definitely. I don't know what that comment's all about, but it most definitely says 2024 on the back. Oh, that's funny. That's what happens when I'm trying to, like, always talk 10 steps ahead of everything. And we even forget what year it is, guys. We just jump back. I'm a year younger. We're all a year younger. I think we'd be happy with that. I thought, you guys would be happy with that. But no, somebody had to come and tell me how wrong I was. Oh, you guys are awesome. All right. So I'm going to end the streams. And then maybe we'll come back over for a second show. Perhaps. I don't know. It is Easter Sunday. Maybe we should just one and done. That's it, right? Like, in my opinion, maybe we could go be reverent or, spend time with our families or something. Or you guys might be bored and sick of spending time with your families and you want to not spend time with your family anymore. So you guys let me know. But I love you guys all over on Facebook. We're almost to 5,000 followers in less than 1 month over on Facebook. Come on, let's take over the world. Let's do it and get all those followers back. So I need your help. Share the video, like it, put it in an art group, send it over to your grandma, get paint on your brand new shirt. Do whatever you want to do, but help me out by sharing and commenting and liking, please, over there on Facebook. So I love you guys all so much. Everybody over on YouTube, you've all been fantastic. I can't wait to see all of your versions of this Easter painting. And send them into facebook.com/officialpaintwithjosh. And until I see you guys again next time, take care. Have the rest of a good day. And boom, he said.